everyone. Thank you for joining me for today's class. In this class, we're going to focus on creating forms within Google and embedding them into your website. Now, the goal in my example here is to create a new client form as an easy way for you to capture information about a potential buyer, seller, tenant, landlord in a nice, easy way with a form that is always going to be on your website. A form that's always going to be on your website, and all the information will be added into Google, so you're never going to lose it. You will have to manually add the information into Command, but again, this is going to be a great way to collect the information that you want to collect. And the end result is going to look something like this, where you have your new client form or whatever kind of form you want to create, and have it right here embedded on your website, right through the menu bar. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is go over to your email through Google. Now you can use your KW email if you have a Gmail account that you prefer to use for real estate. Either way, it does not matter. When you are in your email, you're going to click on these little dots on the upper right corner, and then we're going to click on the purple icon for forms. Once this loads, you'll be able to see some templates as well as any forms that you have already created. I'm just going to open this one up so you guys can see. This is the form that I have created. It's a new client form, and in this I have examples of collecting their phone number, email, where they live, their birthday, what are they looking to do, when did they last purchase their home, tell me a little bit about their current home, and at the end, what's your favorite type of beverage to drink in the morning? Now, when I made this form, I had a conversation with an agent, and he wanted to have a really easy way to collect this information when you are first meeting with your client. That way you don't have to collect it later on, and it just is a nice professional way to obtain this info. You can program this form with whatever questions you want. You have the ability to make certain questions required or not. This is an example here of a fun question. So ideally, if you are meeting with a potential seller and they fill this out, you have in the back of your mind that your closing gift that you may or may not like to give, if you're allowed to give one, could be an espresso maker. So by having your client answer this question right off the bat, you know if they're a coffee drinker. If they say that they drink tea or water or juice, I'm going to pivot that gift later on. Now that's just one example. As a reminder for everyone, I'm not a licensed agent, so please bear with me and take everything that I say with a grain of salt. But here's how we're gonna create that form. You are gonna click, no. You are gonna click on the contact form. It's gonna be a template at the top. So under Start New Form, you're going to see a template gallery. If not, you can always just click on Blank Form and we can build it from scratch. Doesn't matter. So I clicked on the blank form. So here's where we're going to name this form. So this can be, new client questionnaire, whatever you'd like to name it. And the name of your form will also pop up at the top. Here's where you plug in that form description. Thank you for, or I don't know. This is where you guys know what to write better than me. Any basic information goes here. This is where you will tell your client or contact the purpose of this form. And then we can start building out our questions. So question 1, name. If I want to make sure that this field is required, I'm going to check off this little toggle right here. That means this person will have to fill in the information. Now we can, when we are plugging in the options, You can choose for people to plug in their own information. You can do multiple choices, check boxes, drop-down menus, etc. Completely up to you. Most of the time, the short answer is going to be what you want, and then they would fill in their answer here. I'm going to duplicate this question by clicking this little duplicate button. And instead of name, I'm just going to replace this and put phone number. I'm going to do it again. Email address. I'm going to do it again. Home address. Whoops. But you see how easy it is. I'm just clicking on that duplicate button and it is then creating all of these questions that are required. Now I'm going to do another one. Instead of a short answer, I'm going to make this a checkbox.
I have a question.
Sure.
This form is, so, people can put their information, it goes to your website, right?
So because it's a Google form, the results are going to live within the Google form and subsequently in your email, essentially. So the information that's inputted here is not going to go automatically into command. You'll still have to input that manually, but this is a way where we can personalize the information that we're capturing.
Can you do that form on open houses?
Yeah, absolutely. You can make a form for whatever you want. Absolutely. This is just my example here, just to show you guys how to do it. But if you wanted to create this form for an open house and have an open house sign-in sheet on your website, you can absolutely do that.
And create a scan code with that form?
Yep, absolutely. So everything that I'm going to show you here, you can do that same process. And like I said, this form can be whatever topic you want. It can have whatever information you want. So now here, I'm just, because my mind is in football season right now. What's your favorite NFL team? Again, you're probably not going to be asking this question, but this is where my mind's at. So then I could put in option 1. Chiefs. Option 2. Option 3. Option 4. Etc. Again, I can say I want this required, not required, completely up to you. Since this is more of a fun thing, I'm gonna leave this as a not required, because if someone really doesn't like football, I don't want to force them to answer this question. So again, just have those little thoughts in the back of your head while you're creating these forms. Side note, you can always come back and edit these forms. Even after they're embedded in your website, if you're looking at them and you're thinking, you know what? I really wish I changed the verbiage of my description, or I should have made this a different phrasing. You can go in and change that form and it'll automatically reflect on the web page because we're embedding the form with an HTML code, and we'll get there in a little bit.
You start that form from your website or
From Google. From Google.
I missed that part.
That's all right, it's recorded. So we can also make this form personalized if we want. You will notice when it's on the form, you're not going to see any imagery at the top. But if we wanted to, we can come here to customize theme. I can add in a header image if I want. I love writing things. So these are fun, right? Maybe it's, we're kicking off and getting ready for the new year, or it's 4th of July. You can use whatever graphic you want. Now my graphic is here and the colors changed as well. So I can come in here and I can say I want the colors to match. Maybe I want to have a completely different color. You can do whatever you want. You can also change the font style as well as the text size. You can continue to add questions here, and you can also add in things like images and videos, but for this, it's really going to be a little more simple. Over in the settings, under responses, you can limit to having the person fill out the form once. This will require a sign-in. Essentially, this just means that the person needs to be logged in to their Gmail account in order to fill out the form. This is up to you if you want to have this on or not. You can allow your contact to change their responses after it's been submitted. You can send them a copy. You can prompt that they can request a copy of their responses, etc. So once all of this is ready to go, we're gonna put a pin in it for just a second, and now we're gonna get ready to add it into the website. So before we move on, just wanna review really quickly. When you're logged into your email, you come up to the 9 dots and you're gonna click on Forms. You can then click on a template or start from scratch and begin to build your questionnaire by adding in your different questions, whether they are short answers, drop downs, checkboxes, etc. You can click this little palette to customize the theme and the imagery. And all of your settings will be done here. Now, just an FYI, as people start to fill in this sheet, you will see all of the responses here. You can toggle this on so you are always accepting responses. And at any point in time, I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. I can then come in this Google form and see all of my responses. So Freddie, your question before about where's this information going? Excellent question. This is where it lives. It's on a sheet in Google. So your edit's going to lay everything out very nicely, so it'll be a lot easier for you to then take this info, upload it into your command contents. So now let me show you how we actually get this form on the website. This is going to take a little more legwork. First things first, we're going to commit to command. We are then going to go down to the website's applet. This has gotten a little bit of a facelift recently. We are going to click on Edit Agent Site. Now from here, we now have two options. We can do very basic things on this site, this page here, such as adding content or changing the styling, but we want to go into expert mode. Now don't let the name scare you. It just means you can do more than you can in the other spot. You don't need to be an expert. No one's going to be an expert, especially the first time they log into this. So don't let that name freak you out. But this is now the back end of the new KW website platform. These quick start options here are quick links to create new pages on your website. So if you wanted to create a mortgage calculator, what's my home worth, a blog post, a custom page, a landing page, you can do that. Difference between a custom page and a landing page. A custom page lives on your website. A custom page you will be able to see when you are over your menu bar, and these pages are linked. Those are custom pages. Landing pages are not necessarily tied back to your website, so the URL is going to be a little bit different. They're not going to live on your website. So landing pages are good when you're promoting things like open houses or homes for sale, because that property, that event's not always going to be there. That's really the only difference. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a custom page. So I'm just going to click on this little icon. And then it's going to open up the page builder. It gives you a preview of what your page looks like on the right, so you can see everything that you are building. First things first, the page type. New client questionnaire. See, as I'm typing it, it's coming up here so I can see exactly what it looks like. Internal name, that's just the internal name of the page for your view. Page header. Page heading, I believe that is this part here. We'll leave that as is. I'm going to leave this, and then I'm going to come to page contents, and I'm going to add a module. Now, when I'm adding a module, the website is prompting us to add things like carousels of photos or videos, testimonial lists, different things like that. If we're just adding in a code or a piece of text, that's just rich text. So this is the one you're gonna wanna do when embedding the form. I'm then gonna pick the module, there's just one, so I'm gonna select that. It's then gonna load this here. I'm gonna pop down to the rich text. You'll notice the difference between the title and the rich text. Title is again just gonna be a title. But the rich text, remember this is the rich text module, that's where our information is gonna go. This is where you can see you can format everything. So the verbiage that you put here, you can change the font, you can make it bold, you can center it, etc. You're also gonna see this little link here for embed. Because again, what we're doing is we're taking the HTML code from the Google form and embedding it on the website. That sounds scary, like I'm using the real terms. Essentially, I'm copying words off of the Google form, pasting them in the embed spot, and that's how the code on the back end works its magic to create the form on the website. I'm not sure if any of you had MySpace pages back in the day. That's how I actually learned HTML, because you could go in the back, and that's how I learned, you know, the arrow, B, arrow, like that's when I learned to bold things and italicize and make things even. That was from MySpace, so those core skills are still within me. And I promise if I could figure it out back in the day, you guys can figure it out now. So what I'm gonna do while I'm at this part is go back into my questionnaire. And I'm gonna click on send. Now, just so you guys know, this is a way where you can send the form on its own. If you have just met with someone, and you know, like Tatiana, you and I just met you, and you say, I really like you, and I've been thinking about, you know, selling my house, da 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 da. I can say, okay, great. Give me your email address. So I can then take your email. I'm just gonna put mine in. And here's the subject line, it's the name of my form, but you can change it. And the message, I've invited you to fill out a form. So I can say, hi, Tatiana, oops. It was a pleasure meeting you today. I hope we can work together in the future. Please take a moment to fill out this form so I can best serve you and your needs or whatever you. I'm then gonna click on this button, include form in email. That's crucial. You'll see why. Gonna click send, off it goes. Now we see here it's waiting for a response. If I come into my email, here's the new client questionnaire. Here's that message, and here's my questionnaire, and that form is embedded in the email. So if you've ever sent something to a client and you're like, click this link and fill it out, no more. You're simply sending them the email. Because you clicked, you know, include form in email, they can come in right here and fill everything in. I think I'm gonna use you. You know my phone number? I think it's in your number. It is. Obviously the Giants. So if I wanna say, send me a copy of my responses, I can do that. Yeah, review and submit. Okay. There we go. So now this takes me to the form with all the information that I have put in. And I'm gonna click submit. Normal. So I'm not sure if when you hit the review and submit, you then have to hit it again when you're out of the form. That might be the case, I'm not entirely sure. But either way, my response has been recorded. When I come to my form, so this is the back end, I have one response. I can view all of this information here, and it's now automatically in my here. Beautiful.
I'm assuming that with that link, you can just copy that link and put it, let's say, on the social media, or something to people
Absolutely.
can click and put their info.
Absolutely. So great point, Freddie. This is not only available for the sole purpose of putting it on your website. You can still send this via email, put it on your socials, make a QR code for it, have it handy. When I click on send, I just showed you how to send the form via email. When I click on the link, here's the link to the form. I can also click on shorten URL. I personally like to do this just because it makes the form, the link shorter, obviously, so it looks nicer. So I can copy that, paste it, send it anywhere. And then this little guy here, between these two arrows, this is the embed form, or the embed code. Notice it's already made for us, we're not doing anything. We have the ability to change the width and the height. And I'll show you that in just a second, but all I'm gonna do is click on copy. So I've copied this HTML code on my computer. And I'm coming back up to custom page. And now here's where I go back to embed HTML. Now here's kind of annoying part. The drop down, I have to click on create new. You'll notice the client form is already here. That's the first one that I made. So if I wanted to add this form somewhere else, I still have that available. But now I'm adding in a new form. So I'm going to create a new HTML code. I'm naming it. Raw HTML. Paste. That's it. That's all we're doing. And here's that preview. I'm going to click on publish. Beautiful. So now this is published, and I'm going to go back to my page creation. So what I just did is I published the HTML code in the back end of my website. It's like I'm saving a file. Now, when I come to edit HTML, no. There we go. Now that new client questionnaire is there for me to select. I'm going to click on it, save and close. 3, 2, 1, here we go. I want to see a preview of what this looks like. I can open a preview in a new window. So, this is the page that I have originally created. And here's the new page. So you're going to notice the form is off to the left, but the whole form is here. And it will be, linked to your page there. Any questions so far? Okay. Now, if you're like me, you like things to be even, you like them to look perfect. So this being all the way to the left bugs me a lot. What I'm gonna do is come back here. And I'm gonna click on the edit button for my new client questionnaire and click on the edit button once again. Now, this is where our HTML savviness comes into play. The code here is, so an HTML code, essentially you're gonna see things are always anchored. So here it starts with the frame and then the frame ends. So anytime you see things within those arrows, it's built within that code. So this is the URL for my form, that's the source. Here's where I'm programming in the width of the form, the height of the form. If I wanted to add in any margins, I could do that. That's a little advanced. All I want to do now is double the width of this form. So I find the width, so instead of 640, I'm going to do 1280. There we go. Notice how it just popped out? If I want to make the height a little shorter, I'm just going to try it at 1000 and see how that looks. The nice thing is you can make these changes and get a nice preview of what it looks like. All right, that looks good to me. I'm going to publish it, so that's publishing the code. I'm saving that code. Now, I'm back in my new client questionnaire page, nope, sorry. I'm still in the code. Now I'm gonna go back. Now I'm gonna save and close. Now I'm back on the page. But you'll see it's now in the middle. So that's how you can make that little edit. Again, once you add in that HTML code and save it in the website, it's always gonna be there. So if you ever needed to add another page with that, you can. You can then come and build a million different forms in the Google form. You can do one for sellers, you can do one for buyers, you can do one for landlords. You can do an open house sign-in sheet. You can do sign up for my news, whatever you wanna do, you can create those forms and embed them in your website. You can do some other things if you want. I think less is more. You can play around with everything as well. You know, if you wanna say, well, what does it look like if I don't have a header? Okay, so that new client questionnaire, the big text, that went away. Maybe I don't need that because I have the questionnaire and the information right there. I'm gonna publish this page and see how it looks. I can always come back and make my edits. Here's the URL, just so you guys know. It's gonna show up right here, so it's gonna be amandademarco.kw.com/new-client/questionnaire. Style, don't worry about it, but it's there. Once we get more advanced and you all become coders, we can, go a little deeper. But now that this is done, I'm gonna go back to the dashboard. And now I have new pages, new client questionnaire that was created today. So let's go to my website. Let's take a little look. I'm gonna go to the home page so it refreshes. I'm gonna go under more and look right there. I didn't even have to add it into my menu bar. It's automatically there. New client questionnaire. Beautiful. It's right there. Now again, I'm looking at this. Oh my God, I have a typo. I spelled something wrong. This needs to be fixed. I come right back in the form and I can make my changes. Info, 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 blah, 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 blah. Refresh this page. Boom. See, those changes are automatic. So because I've embedded this form, any changes that I need to make to the form, I just go right to Google and make the changes there. A lot easier than doing it on the back end of the website. So as you guys can see, when we do a custom page, it's going to automatically be linked to the website. If we wanted to not have it linked on that menu bar, I'm sure we can remove it. Do I know how off the top of my head? No, but I will absolutely find out whenever you guys need that. But you can also see other types of pages. You can do mortgage calculators, what's your home value worth. The mortgage calculator is also an HTML code. They might now automatically have this page load for you, but if not, this page is exactly the same. If I go to mortgage calculator, see my page title, contents, HTML embed, HTML mortgage calculator, and then I put a contact form underneath it. But that's it. So again, everyone's like, oh my gosh, how did you get that on your website? That looks so cool. It's an HTML code, it's easy as can be. Now, we want to share our questionnaire. We want to make this readily available for anyone. We want to turn this link into a QR code. A couple different ways we can do that. When you're using Google Chrome, you can right-click anywhere on the page, and you're going to see this little option, create QR code for this page. I'm going to click it, it creates a QR code for me automatically with a dinosaur. So as you guys know, if you've taken my classes before, this is the little Chrome Dino mascot. I personally like it, I think he's really cute, but I understand if some realtors are like, no, I need it to look like a legit QR code, and I say legit, like without a fun little cartoon on it, I get it. If the dino doesn't bother you, you can just click on download, and then that QR code will be saved on your, in your downloads. You can take that, add it on a flyer, put it on your postcards, whatever. Additionally, you can copy this URL. And I can come here and I can compose an email. support@scotlandroymarketing.com. QR code creation. Hi, Scotland Marketing Team. Can you please create a QR code for the site? Boom. They will make one for you.
They send it back.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Not sure that you can do it on their website. We'll take a look. But third option, Google it. There are so many different places out there. I recommend the Dino and emailing Scotland Roy just because I know they're trusted sources. I'm not saying that these are not trusted sources, but teach their own, that's all I'm saying.
Once you create the skin code, you have to send it to this guy to just confirm the skin code or?
No,
No, you send the.
you're sending the URL.
They say you. But how do you usually make your?
Like that.
So let me just see quickly, if I go to Scotland Roy's website. Anytime you go to scotlandroymarketing.com, you're gonna enter in 1095 as the password, that's our market center number. 1095 is also a tax form, so that's how I easily remember it. But once you log in, you're gonna find a ton of different resources available for the agents. So, the new KW agent websites. They have training. Lots of videos, hold on. Live webinars, trainings, cheat sheets, Tech 101, recorded classes, agent support, templates. Templates, who loves Canva? I love Canva. If you go to templates, you can now download lots of different templates in Canva that are marketed, branded to KW. But I'm just trying to see if they have a agent support QR code creator on here. Create a new bio,
It's always.
QR code creation.
Even easy.
Watch this video, learn how to, okay, so then, yeah, it's literally just like emailing them, but you're just putting it in through their website. I'm sure either way, it's fine. Ironically enough, their prove you're not a robot question is what's your favorite dinosaur? And if I fill this out, I'm gonna write the Google dinosaur. So, how are we all feeling? It seemed a little scary at first, but once we figured down the pattern, it becomes a lot easier. So essentially, to review, you are going to build and create your client questionnaire or whatever type of survey you want. This can be a post-closing survey. How did I do? You can fill out a form for referrals. If you want to have a referral form, what's your name? Who are you referring? You know, whatever. Any ideas that you have, you can come in here and make them. You can tweak them at any time. We go in the back end of our website, create a custom page. Within that custom page, we add the HTML code and then embed that code on our custom page, hit publish, and then we've got our form living on our website. And then from here, you can create that QR code, right click, create QR code if you're in Chrome, email Scotland Roy, whatever you want. And then you can then have that QR code, put it on a postcard, put it on a business card, stick it on the back of your phone, have them all ready, whatever you want.
So you're gonna see the back of your head for them.
But you could put it on the back of your head if you've got a really, really talented barber, maybe you can like shave it in. Or, you know, highlights, they can do like a nice pattern, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so not that scary, and hopefully this will, you know, stem some other ideas as well. Think about other things that you can do. And other means of communication or information that you can provide, or sources that you can use to capture more information. Because the website is yours to do what you want, as you guys know. So you can put as many forms, as many pages, you can build up your testimonials, you can embed videos, show why you're the expert in your area, you can do it all. I'm here to help if you guys have questions, of course, but hopefully you feel a little bit more confident with getting this portion done. And, you know, also just navigating the back end of the website in general. It's really not that scary. Again, you have your quick start buttons to create pages. You can click any page to start customizing it. You have your default modules here. Custom HTML modules, so those are the two questionnaires that I've created and embedded, so I can see them right there. Really cool. There's also a plus sign here, so you can create. And you can also add in your HTML models right here. So if you wanted to embed this prior to making the page, I just do embed HTML model. And then I type in that HTML code, hit publish, and then that HTML code is going to be living in my backend, and I can add it to any new pages. Any questions? How are we feeling? That's not good. It's just because it's gonna rain and everyone's really tired.
I'm used to that, I can go back and watch the recording.
It'll take a couple times to, you know, go through it and make sure everything is good. But I'm here to help along the way. So if you guys have questions, come grab me. We can hop on a Zoom. I can come and join you in your office, whatever you guys need. But again, you know, use this as a base point. You don't have to go crazy right now, but kind of think in the back of your head, what more can I do to my website to make it stand out? What more can I do to, you know, be the best realtor I can be? And you'll do great.